Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's post is titled, I canceled all their bills after they left everything to my cousin. So let's just jump right into the post. When I read my parents' will and saw they left everything to our cousin, the one they always called I, their real son, I read the will in silence. The lawyer's voice was steady, clinical, detached. My name came once, followed by the phrase, nothing allocated. Everything, every house, every account, every bond, handed over to Daniel, my cousin, the one they always called their real son. I didn't flinch, didn't cry, didn't speak. I just sat there. It was like a punch to the gut, years of unvoiced resentments and silent sacrifices hitting me squarely in the chest. That one sentence, so factual, so final. The lawyer cleared his throat. That concludes the reading of the will. Do you have any questions? I wanted to ask why, but the why wouldn't change anything. It was too late for that. What was too late for that? Too late for everything. It was 10:32 p.m. As I drove home, the reality of my parents' betrayal sank in. I reached out to my side, wanting to touch the pendant my mother had given me, wanting to feel the reassuring weight of her love, only to remember she'd taken it back last month, saying it didn't suit me. It suited her, though. She wore it often, the sapphire flashing on her chest like a mocking laugh. I parked downstairs and went straight to my laptop. I logged into my bank account. Line after line of payments stared back at me. Mortgage, utilities, hospital bills. For decades, I had been the invisible lifeline keeping their lives intact. They never asked Daniel for help. He was their golden boy. I was the one who stepped up, who took on extra shifts at work, who forwent nights out with friends, who said yes to overtime while Daniel partied, who got the highest grades, but they always celebrated his mediocrity. I went through each expense, each payment, feeling the full force of my parents' betrayal. There were 2 mortgages left, one for their retirement home and another for the cottage they'd bought last year, a place that smelled of chlorine and disappointment. Both properties were in my name, along with all the accounts and bonds. It made sense. They always told me I was good with numbers, too bad with people. You're better suited for business, Amy, my dad had said more times than I could count. Just leave the socializing to me, my mom would say with a pat on my shoulder, her eyes twinkling with mischief. Your brother's good at that. I stopped at the food bill, the one they never paid on time, leaving me to bail them out. I remembered the countless calls from restaurants, the terse conversations with waiters, the excuses I made, the apologies I uttered. Then there were the holidays. Every Christmas, every birthday, they expected me to fit the bill for family gatherings. It was my responsibility to ensure everyone was fed, everyone was happy. If there were leftovers, I took them home. And then I saw the entry for the lawyer. The one constant in this charade was the lawyer. He'd been with us through thick and thin, advising, guiding, steering. I stopped the music. I needed to talk to him, to confront him, to hear his explanation. But as I scrolled down the list of his fees, my anger started to fade. It was replaced by a dull ache of realization. This man wasn't just a lawyer, he was my parents' accomplice. It struck me that I hadn't seen him since they'd passed. Why hadn't he come to the reading with Daniel? The pieces of the puzzle started to fit. The lawyer's loyalties, the sudden change in the will, the lack of contact. I felt a surge of anger towards my cousin. They used to call him Golden Boy. I was the afterthought. At birthdays, they handed him envelopes stuffed with cash, the kind usually reserved for weddings. He'd grin, pocket it, and disappear. When I graduated, my father muttered, "Good job," like a clerk checking off a box. But when Daniel walked into a room, their voices would rise, their faces light up. I learned to live with it, to be the invisible, to be the one who mattered less. Now I was free of that life. No more birthdays, no more anniversaries, no more Christmases. I shut my laptop, the screen mirroring the hollowness inside of me. I have lost my parents, but it was a relief to know I'd lost nothing. They hadn't left me with an inheritance of pain and obligation. I stood up, the chair scraping against the floor, and walked to the window. Outside, the world was waking up. I could start my life now. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.